Hello and welcome. This is One-on-One with One House. I must admit, it's been a while and then some. I've been away from this platform for, quite a while because, the way it is when you live for every day, when you live to, pay the bills, of course. So much is going on, so I get caught up in everyday things, everyday living, just as a lot of you also are. So my name is Ehi Akimia, and today is very special for so many reasons. I was able to track down a brother. Well, when we come from Africa, everybody who comes from Africa who is close enough is a brother or a sister. And that's the terminology that we use. So today I was able to track down a brother who is absolutely holding it down and representing for all of us, especially Africans in the diaspora. I won't talk so much about it now, but what I will do is just bring him on and let him, let's get chopping, and so that you get to meet him yourself. Like I said, this is One-on-One with One House. I am Ehi Akimio, and I will go ahead and bring him in right away. So here he is. Hello.
Hello, how you doing? Good evening.
I'm doing good. So let's just get straight into it. Now, what I do know, at least let me start the intro with telling the whole world exactly how I found you. So what it is that I was going through Instagram, as a lot of people often do, and then I now noticed that there was a restaurant that was being posted, and I was wondering, Timbuktu. Wait a minute, this is odd. This is rather odd. Timbuktu, what does it mean? And I checked and I found out that the guy who actually owns and runs the restaurant called Timbuktu is a Nigerian. I have not dug too much into the information, but I just said, hey, let's talk about it. This sounds and seems rather interesting. So it's something that I think we should try and figure out what is really behind it and who is really behind it. So my brother, welcome to today's show. His name is WALE ABUDU. Did I get it right?
Yes, you did. Yeah,
WALE ABUDU. And you are the CEO of Timbuktu Restaurant, aren't you?
Correct.
Nice one. Now, the one of the big things that I have known, because I have, and Timbuktu is in Turku, that's in Finland, somewhere in Finland, one of the big iconic cities of Finland. And for you to be able to live and run a business in the main city, and I'm telling you, Turku used to actually be the capital of Finland many years ago. Now, for you to actually set up and run business in Finland, it takes a lot of guts, it takes a lot of hard work, and it takes a lot of paperwork. You have to be really, really organized. How did you get started?
Well, first, how I would like to say thank you to you for letting this interview happen.
Yeah.
But yes, about how I started. The whole idea started about 12 years ago, to be honest.
Okay.
And when I started 12 years ago, my whole ideology is more of creating a place where Africans can meet without thinking too far about the inclusion of the Finns that live in the same city. I just felt like many of we Africans, we don't have places to go. So I was thinking maybe I should create a space where we can eat and talk, but it was quite difficult, like you said. It's very difficult to find place. But because it's something I have interest in,
Okay.
I started digging on how to work and find a space, but it kept getting more difficult. But there is one thing that happens during that time. My interest kept growing and growing and my interest become more of a passion, you
Yeah.
know. And then I started learning and having more research. Mind you, I
Mm.
was a junior chef many years
Oh,
ago, like 2000
okay.
and year 2000 at Queen's Hotel in
Mm.
Ireland, because
Okay.
I
Okay.
grew up in Ireland myself. So,
Okay.
so I have a bit of experience, even though I wasn't a good student in the kitchen, but I had a bit of experience. So,
Okay.
so
Mm.
as time goes on, so I start like digging into research and thinking like, actually, I could make this different.
Mm.
Why can't I create? Why can't I tell that African story that people do not know through food? You
Mm.
see, so it become like I said, I become more interested in the whole thing. I kind of like I was in deep without me knowing I was in deep. So I started
Mm.
learning about different African,
Yeah.
cuisines and cooking different stuff just from nowhere. Then I would
Yeah.
invite friends from a particular part of African countries. Like, look, this is what I'm doing this weekend. Do you guys want to come over? I'll make the food. What do you think? Some of them they will be like, I don't like this food. This is not our
Oh.
food. I'm like, okay, I love you. Then you will come
Mm.
back next week because I need to get it right. So
Yeah.
along the line, over 12 years, I think I made over 300 different dishes. You know,
Oh.
just keep inviting people. A lot of people
Mm.
like coming over to my place because they know it's always going to be about food. you
Mm.
know so when I get to the right stage, then I felt like, okay, fine, I think now the concept is more advanced. Now I
Yeah.
know where I want to go you know
Mm.
so then, but I never give up in that 12 years.
Yeah.
You go places, they're like, oh yeah, you can use the place for a restaurant. Then you turn
Yeah.
up and they're like, oh, okay,
Mm.
no. How does African food smells like? We don't know if we want the smell of African food in this place. So it's
Yeah.
very discouraging at some
Oh.
point, but at the same time, the fact
Mm.
that I'm not giving up actually helps, you
Mm.
know. And when I found there was a guy, the guy that ran the place for me actually was a guy that I met 12 years ago. So I
Oh.
called the guy and I said, do you remember me? It was like, no. I said, 12 years ago. It was like, 12 years ago, there are so many people. I said, but you will remember me because I want a place for African restaurant. And the
Mm.
first thing he said to me was, whoa, if that was me, I would have given up on this dream.
Like a dream. Yeah. Mm. Mm.
So yeah, he found me a space, and then the rest of it was a story. So
Mm.
the story, we telling the African story just continue from there.
Mm. Where are you from actually? Because you said you've been in Ireland. Where are you actually from? And I personally know because your name gives you away immediately. But for those who are not quite aware of that, where are you from? I know you're from Nigeria, but which part of Nigeria?
Oh, I was actually born in Lagos. I was born in
Oh,
Lagos. You know,
aha, you go.
yeah. I did some of my years in Lagos. Then I went to
Okay.
UK. I'm from UK,
Mm,
London, Southeast,
okay.
to be specific.
Mm,
You know,
mm.
so from there I went to Ireland, and from there I'm here.
Okay. Was cooking part of the plan? Was being a chef part of the grand plan? Because I'll tell you why I'm asking. One reason is that
Yeah.
most parents, including mine, also, the first thing they tell you is, okay, you're going to be, my son has to be a lawyer or a doctor or architect. Where where how do they feel when they found out, or was that the main thing that you went for, or it just happened?
To be honest, it just happened. To be
Mm.
honest, I was meant to study business, which I
Okay.
did, by the way.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's why I said I wasn't a good student when I
Mm.
was working as a junior chef,
Okay.
because I was working for this four-star restaurant called Queen's Hotel in Ennis, County
Mm.
Clare. I had an
Mm.
opportunity for them to actually send me to go and study, how to be a professional chef.
Oh,
But
did you?
then I didn't take it because I do not understand that you can actually be a business person at the same time be a chef. I always think it's a
Mm.
two separate thing.
Okay.
So I just like, no, this is not for me. I got to, I need to jump up the ship here. Thank you very much. But at the end of the
Mm.
day, it is what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. Mm. So how did your Your family back home, how do they feel about it? What did they say?
I'm not. It's actually a very interesting question because
Mm.
I lost my mom quite, you know, very early, and for that
Oh,
reason,
sorry about mm.
there is nobody to oppose where I'm going. And I think when I came to Finland, it was more of I was by myself, so every single
Okay.
decision I'm making,
Mm.
it needs to be calculative and it needs to be a decision that's going to benefit me and the people
Yeah.
around me at that
Mm.
moment.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Uh, Finland is a really unique place to start a business. We'll go into that in a little while, but while we're still on the issue, give us a background about Timbuktu, because that's one of the reasons why you're here anyway. That's why how I found you. So tell us about Timbuktu, the restaurant, the African experience. A lot of people have tried to set up restaurants, African restaurants in Finland, in Helsinki. I've seen several, and it never really works out. But what makes Timbuktu very, very different?
um, thank you for asking that question because a lot of people never ask. We need to
Mm.
start with the name. I'm Nigerian, and you know how we Nigerians are so passionate about. We are we are very nationalistic,
Nationalistic, thank you.
and
Yeah.
that's one of the first challenges that I have
Mm.
actually. That a lot of people, Africans, actually know me in Turku,
Mm.
because I get myself involved in so many voluntary
Yep.
and organizing different stuff.
Yeah.
So what happened is when I started going on, like the first name I chose was actually Calabash, at the
Mm.
beginning,
Okay.
like I say, it started 12 years back. But
Mm.
then when I get to decide that is a story I want to tell
Yeah.
and I want it to be authentic. So I need to
Mm.
find a name that can actually go along with that story. There are
Okay.
so many amazing cities, like Asian cities in
True.
Africa with
Mm.
beautiful history. But there is one that stood out for me, and that's the
Okay.
city of Timbuktu. You
Timbuktu.
see, and that's
Yeah.
why I took that name. That
Mm.
Timbuktu is the name I want to use.
Yeah.
I went with that name actually early last year. I changed the name
Okay.
early last year,
Okay.
and everybody that I know, they said to me, "No, this is not, Nigerians. No,
Yeah.
oh, you can use somewhere in Lagos. You can use a
Lagos.
co somewhere." I said,
Yeah.
"No, you don't get it,
Yeah.
So, and your next question is why is Timbuktu so different?
Mm.
Okay, what we do in Timbuktu is very simple. It's a very simple math.
Okay.
Most of the restaurants I've been that are African restaurant around the world, because I love to
Yeah.
travel and I love to eat out.
Mm.
If the place is owned by a Nigerian or
Yeah.
a, a Ghanaian,
Mm.
if they have 20 dishes on their menu,
Yeah.
15 of those dishes they're going to be from their country.
Yes. That's exactly correct.
You say, so in
Yeah.
Timbuktu, I'm Nigerian.
Yeah.
Most of the food on the menu they cut across the continent.
Mm.
You've got food from
Okay.
North Africa, you've got food from west, from east, from south. We
Mm.
cut
Yeah.
across. Of course, like you have some countries that have three dishes on the menu, which is
Mm.
fine just because maybe in the next time we're changing the menu, they're not gonna have more than one,
Yeah.
because it's
Okay.
not gonna be balanced anyway. So we just,
Yeah.
we try to sort it out in a way whereby it actually
Mm.
represent Africa continent. And
Yeah.
the second thing is like, despite we try to do fine dining, because that's what we're doing actually, we do fine dining.
Yes.
So
I was
lunchtime we just leave it open.
yeah, I was going to come to
Sorry?
that. Yeah. I was going to come to that. I was going to
Ah,
come to that
okay,
to find out.
okay,
One
okay,
thing I
okay. So
noticed,
I'll,
one thing I
yeah.
noticed, let me cut you short a little bit there. One thing that I noticed was that you have a way of creating like a mixture of different items, different things that come from different parts of Africa. I was going through your menu, and I saw the pictures, very, very, very brilliant pictures that you've taken of the foods that you're serving. That you've mixed quite a lot of items from different parts of Africa, and it's not a place where you go to that you find, okay, this is food from Lagos, or this is food from Kenya, or this is you find so much variety in the stuff that you have put out. I guess that is the direction that you're going, I guess.
Oh, it is.
Mm,
I just want to like I said to you, we are telling story. It's the experience that we are selling. And our
mm,
experience is actually very authentic. When you come
yeah,
and eat abula in our restaurant, you are eating
mm,
abula. We are
yeah,
not trying to make it, to
mm,
suit the Europeans or the Finns. No, we
yeah,
are trying to make it to tell
mm,
our own stories. Because till
mm,
today, you still hear people asking, what kind of food do they eat in Africa?
mm,
You get my point?
yes,
Because immediately you're trying to improvise or trying to make the food suit people
mm,
from other countries, then your food is not authentic anymore. There's nothing
true,
authentic about it. You've already
very,
turned your food to fusion.
yeah,
Anybody that have interest in eating your food
mm,
actually need to have open mind. You
mm.
cannot you cannot come and say I want to eat African food, and after you finish eating it, you go like, "Oh, but it
Is that it?
doesn't taste like finished food."
Yep,
It
yep,
shouldn't be like that. You see,
mm,
you coming to experience something you have not experienced before. You need to keep
yep,
open mind. I know
mm,
it would take a long time for a lot of things to actually adjust to the taste,
mm,
but a lot
yeah,
of them actually they are loving it.
mm,
And they've been coming back and back and back and back. There's one thing I was going to say earlier
we'll
before
talk about
you,
fine,
if
right?
you don't mind, I will just say it really quick.
Yeah,
Another problem that African food are having is the
yeah,
presentation of it.
okay,
You see, and this is
mm,
what we are doing differently.
okay. You say differently. Does that explain, bring in the issue of the fine dining? Why have you gone in that
Um,
direction?
uh,
Doesn't it
I think,
um, doesn't it fine dining is great. It will, it's always very good, because to plan, you're going out to eat, you want to be ready, you want to be dressed, you want to, you want to look the part and feel the part, and know that going out is very, very important. But do you think that kind of takes away from the kind of people that you're, or what value does it add to it?
um, I think I will tell you some stories or some experience that we've encountered during this
Oh,
journey.
okay.
There was a day a customer came in,
Yeah.
and he went back to write on his own social media that he went to that restaurant, that African restaurant, but the
Mm.
place is too clean to be an African restaurant.
What?
You know, and you see that people actually um, they give the space for this kind of customers
Mm.
to actually express that kind of to say something like that, and a lot of people were joking on the same Facebook side and they were laughing.
Wow.
So what we are trying to do with the fine dining is Africa is beautiful.
Yep.
African food is beautiful.
Yep.
You know, uh, what do you call it? If a Finnish food or French food, Italian food, if they
Mm.
can be fine dining, how come African food cannot be fine dining?
Very true. Very.
At the beginning, there was once in France, in Finland, in England that people just eat normally. They sit on the ground and they eat. Somebody create the idea of fine dining.
Yeah.
So how come they are leaving us out?
Mm.
We can
Mm-hmm.
come into the space as well.
Yeah.
Then we
Mm.
can let them decide which direction do they want to go. Do they want the fine dining or do they want something else?
Yeah. So where's Timbuktu? I mean, I like I said earlier, I've spoken to you off air that I've been to Turku a few times, but where do you locate Timbuktu in the Turku general region? Where is it, in the center of
Oh,
Turku? Is it close? How do you find it?
it's actually pretty. It's at Mari and Katutu, which
Yeah.
is very close to the bus station, but it's very
Okay.
close to the center as well. It's
All right.
about 5 minutes walk from the
Mm,
center, 5 minutes walk from the bus station. So it's
okay.
just there
Quite
opposite
close.
the theater.
Mm. All right. Cool. But besides the often not I wouldn't say negative. I would say people that make comments that are rather unaware of what is in front of them, right? Without even trying, without even going for the experience. What other major challenges do you often face? I mean, setting up a business like this, because this is a unique situation that you've started, a unique project. What other major challenges do you have to face in keeping your doors open?
Well, I think like I said, well, I think one of those things is still a lot of people do not know that there is something different in
Mm,
Turku.
mm-hmm.
Secondly, there are some people that knows, but just because they don't know what to expect, they didn't
Yeah.
even bother to come.
Mm,
You know, there are some people that expect because it's African food,
yeah.
it needs to be cheap
Yeah.
and it needs to be a lot on their plate.
Okay.
So they
Yeah.
want to take out the fine dining experience and they
Mm,
want it to just be cheap
yeah.
and a lot on my plate. But then
Okay.
there's a lot of paperworks that are
Mm,
involved,
yeah.
But like I said, my wife has been doing a great job in that sense.
Okay.
There are
Yeah.
so many paperworks that needs to be done. Like actually, I didn't know there could be more paperwork that I've encountered in my lifetime. They just coming from everywhere.
Everywhere.
But still,
Plus all the bills that suddenly just turn up. You haven't paid this or you haven't paid that one. I understand.
this this is there. There's a lot of paperwork.
Mm,
But we moving forward. The project is growing. We're going to the second stage of the project now because
okay.
our idea is to actually target 60% of Finnish household.
Okay.
And then we're going to start the second leg of the project
Mhm.
at the beginning of December.
Yeah. Oh wow. Cool. 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 So how much space do you have? How much do you count by tables? I really don't know anything about the restaurant business. So do you count by tables? How many mouths can you feed at once
Ah,
within?
we like we can do 50 people at a time,
Okay.
because
Mm,
like we mentioned, it's a fine dining. We don't want the
yeah.
place to be too congested. We
Yeah. Yeah.
do
Yeah.
we do 50 at a time, so that is going to be spacious, you
Yeah.
know. And
Mm,
for example, like last night we did a uh, what do you call it, a doctorate party event,
mm,
for the guy that studied African history. And it was
okay.
just amazing evening because most of the people that was at the event, 99% of them, apart from the guy that was
Mm,
doing the doctorate party
yeah.
himself,
Yes.
Finns and
Okay.
Swedish. And
Mm,
we just dazzled them with some of our finest African cuisines.
mm,
So after every single dish, I always go up to talk to them and introduce the next dish. And the first time I went up there, they were just like, "Oh my God, this is still good! Oh my God!"
wow. Yeah.
And when
Mm,
I went the second time, there was a guy that called me to the side and was like, "Oh, to be honest, I don't know. I wouldn't lie to you. I don't know what to expect, but this is just mouth
mouth.
watering, But I've already said to my partner, like, I'm coming in with open mind. I said that's the
Yeah.
way to do it when you want to come to African restaurant.
Mm, yeah. Mm. No preconceived notions of what to expect. Just come and experience Africa from a different perspective. Do you do most of the cooking yourself, or do you now have a staff? Are you up to? I mean, it's just been what 10 months already. Uh, how do you manage the kitchen?
Oh, to be honest, as crazy as it sounds, I spend at the beginning, the first 6 months, I spent
Mm.
7 days a week in the
Wow.
kitchen,
Wow.
because I need to perfect it. And I'm
Yes.
going to be honest, the first month when we started, it was total madness. It was a chaos. Like
Mm.
things were not going the way I
Mm,
planned
of
it.
course. Of course.
You know, the
Mm.
way the food looks on the plate, I
Yeah.
wasn't happy with it, but
Yeah.
I was too busy that my mind is not being creative,
Mm,
you know.
mm.
So, but as time goes on, we figured it out. So the
Yeah.
first 6 months, I was just in there, trying to up with a new idea. On then I bring another. I brought another. What do you call another chef
Okay.
from Botswana. So
Okay.
he came in, so he kind of like helped me with the load,
Mm,
So we spoke a lot, we talk a lot. So there's three
mhm.
of us, and we've been working together for. One of them has been with me since the beginning. She's an
Okay.
amazing woman. She
Mm,
does a great job. And then the other
yeah.
one came in March. So we've
Yeah.
been rotating but I still stay there like 6 days a week,
Of course. Of
and I
course.
work
Yeah.
I work an average of 16 hours a day.
Wow.
So
Wow. So what is your best selling dish, if I may say so? It's not jollof rice, is
Uh,
it?
well, I think you need to understand that we've changed the menu 3 times already,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay. Three
But
times.
I will say one thing: we've kept some of the food because they are quite popular.
Okay.
And one of the most popular dish that we have is
Yeah.
called chicken yassa from Senegal. It's just
Okay. Wow.
amazing.
Wow.
The flavor
Mm,
is crazy.
mm,
In the new menu that we have now, another very popular one is abula from Nigeria. You
okay.
know, um, then our dessert is not doing bad at all. We have pop off. Pop off has been popping
Okay.
everywhere. People love even the sound of it. Pop off.
Mm,
What is it?
okay.
So people people
Yeah.
love it.
Mm,
Then we have dundu. I don't know if you remember dundu. From
course,
Nigeria.
of
So we it's more like our own thing. So we serve
mm,
with fresh spinach.
yeah.
So and that's very popular as well. And
Mm.
yeah, so those four dishes has been doing some miraculous stuff for us.
So I'm guessing because of the nature of the society today, there is those, there would be dishes for vegetarians and those categories of guests that you would have at your restaurant.
Yes, you're right.
Mm,
But one thing that I always say to people is like Africa is actually the founder of vegan and vegetarian until
mm,
the colonial master came in and told us that we are not eating healthy. So I think vegetarian dish is now
mm,
something that is surplus. Sorry,
mm,
is not scarce in our
yeah.
restaurant. We
Mm,
actually right now we have uh, the Kenyan, there's this Kenyan beans with
yeah.
chapati,
Yeah.
and then we have injera from Ethiopia. They are
Mm-hmm.
vegan. We have
Yeah.
arira from Algeria. They are
Mm,
vegan. And
mm,
in our dessert, you have akwadu,
okay.
from Equatorial Guinea.
Wow.
And we have so many, and we have akara on the menu as well. They are
Mm,
vegan, so we have so many vegan dishes on
yeah.
our list.
So loads of vegan and vegetarian dishes. Now, what you keep talking about desserts. The one thing I never knew anything about desserts until I came to Europe. Is that an African thing or is it a European thing?
Um, I think when you look at it, to be
Mm,
honest, I think it's a world thing. It's just
okay.
like when it comes to food,
Yeah.
it depends on what do people like.
Yeah.
When you
Mm,
look at West Africa, we are not into many sweet things. We are more into fruit and stuff
mm,
like that. But when you go
mm,
up north,
yeah.
North Africa, they actually
Mm,
love dessert just because they
okay.
have influence of the Arabian culture in them. So
Mm,
they love dessert. So you
wow.
have something like Malva, so many
Yeah.
different stuff. So it's
Mm,
not more of a European thing, but we in West Africa,
yeah.
we enjoy food without categorizing them. We don't
What it
say,
is.
oh, we want it
Yeah.
to
This is
be
one.
this or that. So, but now we are the gastronomists, we need to
Yeah.
look into what's the best way to actually feed these different foods
Okay.
so that
Yeah.
people can understand what we are actually eating.
Eating and accommodate a lot of people. Now, Wale, can I call you Wale? I mean, that should
Yes,
be
you can,
yes.
please.
You
Yes,
have
yes,
you
yes.
have somebody asking a question here. Max Ngam. What about the grilled fish? Max wants to know. Is there something special about the grilled fish that Max is,
Actually, I think that's
is this some
sorry.
secret you're hiding? Is this some secret you're hiding? You don't want to tell us about this fish, eh? How about this fish?
Actually, actually, the samaki fish is from Tanzania.
Okay.
One of our chef actually he's been working in Tanzania. So
Yeah.
when we were doing the new menu, he was like, "Look, I have this fantastic idea.
Mm.
Let's drop this grilled fish to them and see."
Okay.
But
Yeah.
Finland, people do not like to fight with their food, and
Yes.
the samaki is not actually popular
Okay.
because they have to debone the fish themselves.
Yes. That's true. That's true. That's true.
You
Yeah.
see, so it's not like when you look, we have to um, debone most of the meat as well so that it can be comfortable for the
Yeah.
fins that are eating
Mm.
it. But in
Mm.
Africa, we don't debone any meat.
Ah,
We
we
don't
want that
debone
bone.
fish.
We want that bone. We want that bone. We
We
want that
want
bone.
that bone. So this is it. But we have another seafood that is actually quite popular. It's called
Yeah.
matapa from Mozambique. It's
Okay.
very, very popular. And the
Mm.
reason why is because the fish is fillet. So they don't have
Okay.
to debone it.
Okay.
Yeah, but the grilled fish is actually not popular among the Finns,
Mm.
but the Africans they love it just because
Mm.
of the size and the taste of it. But it's very, 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 very delicious. Trust me.
Yeah. What about competition? How do you are you competing, or are you just on a lane of your own? Would you say that Timbuktu is on a lane of its own, or do you have competition?
I wouldn't say we have competition. We do not have competition because what we are selling, the
Mm.
service we're giving is something totally different.
Okay.
We're not trying to, you
To be
know,
like,
we
yeah.
are saying, please come and experience what we are serving.
Mm.
We are
Mm.
not, we are not saying, look, we want to make grilled fish
Yeah.
because somebody
Yeah.
else is making grilled fish.
Yeah.
So we don't have competitor, but we are open. There is competitor, and the
Yes.
reason is the
Mm.
story become more widespread. It's
Yeah.
not only one person doing it.
Okay.
I have two friends in Turku that owns a restaurant.
Okay.
Um, yeah, one has a Indian restaurant,
Okay.
and the other one have Afrofusion slash Italian fusion food, and we do
Mm.
talk. We talk regularly.
Yeah.
I don't see them as competitor. I just think that they are pretty close to me, both of them. One is
Mm.
right in the center, and the other one is just nearby. And we
Okay.
don't. I don't. At least I don't see them as competitor. I learn a
Yeah.
lot from them because they've been in the business longer than I do.
Okay. Mm. So basically, if you're going to give a quick, fast recommendation for Timbuktu, what would you say if you want people to come there? What would you like to tell everyone right now that about Timbuktu that you have not told already that you need to tell more of?
Well, I would just say like what Timbuktu is trying to do is telling the African story that people do not know.
Mm.
A lot of people have these uh, a general view which is
Mm.
negative towards anything Africa is doing.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
one thing we are trying to do is to change that mindset,
Yeah.
and you cannot blame people that have negative thought towards Africa just because that's what the media actually shows to them, you
Yeah.
know. And what we are trying to do is like, yes, the media is doing their own thing, but
Mm.
please come to Timbuktu and experience that Africa is actually beautiful as well. We have good food, we have good people, we have good culture. Because
Mm.
Timbuktu is not only about food; it's about the culture, it's about the music, the people
Mm.
that works there. We have people from everywhere in Africa that
Mm.
works in Timbuktu. We have Sudanese, we have Eritrea, we have
Mm.
Nigerians, we have Botswana. So we have
Mm.
mix of everybody. We have Moroccan. So we have
Mm.
mix of everybody that works in Timbuktu. So
Mm.
we are just selling the experience, and we
Mm.
want you guys to come and experience something different.
I'll tell you one thing though. I'll have one more question to ask you before I let you go. I know you have to prepare. There's a usually quite a busy period for most restaurants. Timbuktu essentially, for those who don't know African history that much, Timbuktu is I think city in Mali, isn't it?
Yep,
It's in
yep,
Mali, and
correct.
in the old days, Timbuktu was like a melting pot for people coming from all over the world, from all over Africa, from the Arab world, from Europe. So it was really a melting pot, and it suits the concept that you have right now about sharing that African experience through the amazing dishes that you're putting out there. So that is definitely a very, very perfect name for it. Now, what goes into preparing that extra special um, dish I mean, I know planning the menu and planning all of that. When do you decide what to add and what not to add to make that
You mean like when creating the menu itself, you mean?
creating that menu? When what?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a
Mm,
lot, because in Nigeria, in the Morocco, or in South Africa, in we don't really consider people that have allergies. We don't really consider people that are vegan or vegetarian. We don't consider we don't. It's not that we don't care, but it's just not part of that culture that you goes like, oh, that person is allergic, so because of that we cannot cook this. No, we don't do that.
mm,
We need to consider also
mm.
the people that are Muslims. We need to consider
Yes.
people that are Christian. We need to,
Yes.
every single thing. We have
Mm.
customers that actually comes in and said, I don't eat beans.
Yeah.
If
Ooh.
what you are cooking, this is
Yeah.
just an example.
Mm.
When you are cooking, if anything you are using
Mm.
have a bit of beans in it,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could die.
Oh.
They will
Oh.
just say it like that.
Mm.
So it's
Mm.
very, very sensitive
Yeah.
profession
Yeah.
that people don't know. So
Mm.
what we do is we plan a lot. We
Yeah.
put out hundreds of dishes on the
Mm.
list, and then we have to break it down into, because we don't want to overwhelm our customers. So
Very
we
true.
limit our menu. When you look,
Mm.
our menu is quite simple. You can just run through it in 10 minutes, you know.
Yes.
So
Mm.
we break it down to two chicken, two meat, two fish.
Mm.
We just break it down into smaller pieces so
Mm.
that it's going to be easier. So we actually write 100 different dishes. Then
Yeah.
we have to put them together like a puzzle that which one is going to fit. I know
Mm.
people might come and say, oh, they make it so simple. No, it's not actually that simple when you look at that, because we have to consider every single thing that could
Yeah.
be at risk for other people and what we think
Mm.
it will be very easy to sell to the
Mm.
people as well.
Mm. Wow, that has been. I wish I could stay and talk with you much longer, but I think what I need to do now and what you guys need to do right away is, if you're going, in fact, not if, get up and go to Turku and go and experience at Timbuktu the African experience, the authentic African experience. And we're not talking about Africa from one region, foods from one region or the other. We're talking about how Timbuktu Wale has been able to mesh all the beautiful flavors, all the wonderful ingredients that come out from Africa to put up such amazing dishes. Is it hard to get the kind of ingredients and stuff that you need to create the dishes in Finland, or how do you? It must be quite difficult.
Well, some of them are, to be
Yeah.
honest, some of them
Oh,
are, but most of them are actually easy to get, but
mm.
some of them are,
I guess
and
that will be
yeah.
your trade secret. So we'll let you keep that. We'll let you keep that little one in your back pocket. So, Wale, thank you very much for making time. I know you're very busy. And hopefully I've spoken to quite a lot of my friends who organize a lot of these events outside. Hopefully you guys will be able to do, especially around summertime, do a lot of all these outdoor um, catering, like at festivals and stuff like that. Hopefully we can get you
We're
guys
looking
dressed.
into that. We're looking into that next year. Yeah, we are.
Hoping you'll be able to do that because I do organize quite a lot of all these events and festivals across Finland. Hopefully, we'll be able to get you to join us and spread that African experience even further than what you're doing right now in Turku. So my next move, I guess, is that I have to get myself out there and come to Turku and come and actually be there on the spot and do that. Oh, by the way, I will be in Turku for some event that's happening at Timbuktu, organized by a friend of mine, Aria.
Oh, February, February,
Yes,
February next year.
yes, I am coming. I will be there.
Okay, okay.
I will be
I'm
there.
going
So
to be there as well.
you better, you better. I'm coming with an empty stomach and I'm eating everything. So once again, thank you very much, Wale. And I will sign off, but please don't go anywhere. I will talk to you in the green while you're still waiting in the green room. So thank you for being a part of today's show, and hopefully we do this again quite soon. All right. And that's how it has been. I am Ehina Kimel. This has been One on One with One House, and I've been talking to WALE ABUDU, the CEO owner of Timbuktu, located in Turku, the very, very iconic city of Turku, where he is sharing the African experience through every day, basically one dish at a time. So go there, go enjoy, go experience Africa. Fine dining is what it's all about, and something very, very different, very, very special. And I'm sure he will be able to create something especially for you when you go there. So that's one experience. So while I know that a lot of people go to Turku for which I have done in the past for all the castles, all the sightseeing and whatnot. And when you're there, make sure you stop by at Timbuktu, go and experience it yourself. And then, talk to me, let me know how it goes. And on that note, a big thank you to you and everyone who has been able to join us. And of course, we will have the broadcast running, and so that you get to see and enjoy this this interview that I've had with WALE. Okay, talk to you guys soon. Bye.